There's no way anybody could pay me to go back.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I turned into a person I wish not to ever turn into again.
See, like the building over there with the steam, there's always access to climb on top of the roofs around here. Sometimes they've even got like little maintenance sheds on top of them you can just go right into, especially if it's raining.
No one ever plans to become homeless, but sometimes things happen that lead us in a direction we never intend to go. Jeff became addicted to drugs.
Once that gets a hold of you, that monster never lets go. And it doesn't take very much for it to get a hold of you.
At that point, he was working full-time.
Had a good job, worked Fox UPN, Master Control Engineering. Everything was good at that time.
But after a while, the addiction took over his life, and he lost everything.
It's a pretty good shelter, and with the grate there, there's a little bit of heat.
Did you live on the street? Where did you sleep at night?
Wherever I could. There's a few times I remember behind the library. They have some heat vents back there, keep warm in the winter. Down by the bridges, you'll see some of the other homeless.
That's the big thing. When at night, this thing blows the extra hot air out.
When you're sleeping down by the bridge or behind the library, does it occur to you, wow, I think I've hit bottom, or do you even think about it?
You don't even think about it. You got a lot of uncertainty, about where your next meal is coming from, where you are going to sleep, how you are going to, get some money. It just basically a big gamble, and that right there adds a lot of stress, where it makes you get a lot more depressed, where you just keep falling down. You don't really think about what's going on in the outside. You just worry about where the next hit or whatever's coming from. You don't care about, taking care of yourself. You don't even really notice how you look or how you act, and you don't really care how you're treating other people as long as you're getting what you want.
Cause see, somebody's got a fresh pizza box down there now, so somebody's been using it.
Once you become homeless, Jeff says it's really hard to get back out.
When you're homeless, not having a phone and a mailbox is a real big obstacle to getting a job. And without a phone number for an employer to call you back or an address to receive a mail, you're pretty much stuck. Everybody takes like the internet and email for granted now. When you're homeless, you can't check your email. You might be able to go down to the library and use their computers if you're lucky. But usually if you're homeless, you've got enough financial problems and you can't provide the information to the public library to be able to get a library card.
Most libraries require you to provide a piece of mail with your address on it.
It ends up being a cycle. You get used to it, that becomes your life. You don't expect anything more.
Even if you do get an interview for a job, Jeff says it's hard to make a good first impression.
And they take one look and you may have worn clothes or dirty clothes. And they don't take into consideration this guy might be homeless. He might not be trying to look slouchy for the job. That may be all he has. And pretty much everybody in Wichita, if you don't have at least, khakis or a nice dress-up shirt, they're not even going to give you an interview. And a lot of people that are homeless, they just don't have that.
Jeff says a lot of homeless people do actually work. It's just the jobs aren't always enough to make a long-term difference.
Down at the drop-in center, there would be people that come in on a regular basis saying, anybody want to go to work today? They would definitely go to work. The problem about some of the jobs you do, one, it's not going to pay much. Two, the amount of money you're going to make, it's not going to be enough to be able to get you out of a shelter. It'll be like, say, here's $30, and we might come see you next week to work. It's not going to be a steady job with enough money to get you out of what you're in. It's just enough for you to go, well, I might be able to get a hotel room and a pack of cigarettes tonight.
What made you decide you didn't want to be that person anymore?
I had tried a suicide and it didn't work.
Which sent him to Good Shepherd. That's where he found out he was bipolar.
Never been diagnosed or anything, so I didn't even know anything was wrong.
Experts told Jeff that by using drugs, he was essentially self-medicating.
So if I ever got, say, really happy, which would be a good thing, within a reasonable amount of time, you would expect to bottom out that far. So the happier you got, more depressed and worse everything would get. Because if I was in the happy mode, things would be going good, but in the back of your mind you go, things are getting ready to mess up, I better get prepared, and you'd do it, and then when the bad thing did happen because you did use, you would do even more to try to get over it.
And the cycle would begin again.
Because I told them I was tired of living the way I was living, because it was pretty unmanageable at that point.
That's where he found out about Breakthrough.
Up until that point, I never knew Wichita had a homeless mission. I never knew there were places like Venture House or Breakthrough or anywhere else that would, help you get a job, do a resume, supported education, stuff like that.
Breakthrough started about 20 years ago as a place to help those who've been diagnosed with mental illness get back into the workforce.
What did Breakthrough do for you? How did it help you?
They've done a lot, but the big thing, they listened. If you had a problem, a feeling, concern, they listened. They give you a little confidence, try to support you however they can, whether
Breakthrough's mission is to help clients become more independent, productive members of the community.
it's using the computers, building a resume for employment. You just clean up, there's a shower, make you feel a little better. If you don't have clothes, they'll try to get you some for an interview. They'll even coach you on your interview skills, education, whatever.
Breakthrough provides a number of services ranging from educational assistance, job training, employment support, housing, transportation, and wellness.
What I call a safe environment.
Breakthrough provides services to as many as 500 people like Jeff every year.
Counselors and pretty much a lot of the clients too know you by name. A lot of them are very smart and they all share their experiences and stories. And sometimes some of the things they say make your life seem not so bad.
Thanks to Breakthrough, Jeff has a job again and even has his own apartment.
How did it feel to finally have a place that is your own again?
That was great. Having your own place to be able to take a shower privately, just be able to go to the refrigerator when you wanted to. Just open the front door and look out was a privilege. When you realize you can actually do it again for like the first time, it's a great feeling.
Although Jeff has been clean for 4 years, there are still some things he hasn't been able to fix.
I lost a lot of good friends that weren't in the lifestyle when they found out I was in the lifestyle, and you'll never get that trust back. A lot of good relationships. Kids, haven't got to see them in like 10 years.
Having spent almost 365 days on the streets, Jeff has some valuable advice for anyone who's out there now.
Ask for the help. Because a lot of times when you do end up in that situation, your pride kicks in.
And here's one of the places where the churches usually come around and hand out the food, clothes, and things like that.
Were you still, if these organizations wouldn't have stepped in, would you have tried to get out of that lifestyle, or would you still be in it?
I would probably still be in it if those organizations hadn't helped.
Especially if he was still surrounded by the same people.
Their idea of sympathy or helping you out was, here, I got this for you. This will take the pain away. And you'd be right back where you were. Can't expect a different result.